Now, it's been exactly 6 months since President John Dramani Mahama took the reins of government for his second term. As the administration reaches this milestone, attention is turned to its performance across key sectors. The city has gained strength, inflation has declined, and several initiatives in education, youth employment, and infrastructure have been rolled out. At the same time, issues such as rising electricity tariff, the energy sector levy, and the ongoing fight against illegal mining have drawn mixed reactions. In this edition of By the Numbers, we take a closer look at what has been achieved, was under scrutiny, and how citizens are responding. So we put the question to Ghanaians: how do you assess? What's your assessment of John Mahama's presidency #2? And this is what a lot of you had to say.
So far, I'd say they are doing well, but it's not perfect as they promised before. We can all see that the prices of things in the markets are reducing, though it hasn't reduced to the way we want it to reduce to. I'll use myself as an example. So commuting from the house to work every day, the transportation was a lot, minus food and other stuff. The transportation alone was a lot of money, but now it has reduced, and then because the prices of things in the markets have also reduced, buying food is a bit cheaper, not too cheap, not very cheap, but apart from Kakra. So the 6 months, okay, I'd give them maybe a 7.5. They are doing well, yes. I believe they should be able to make it up to a 9 or a 9.5. They should be able to do well to help the economy of the country as a whole. Yes.
I think that he has done well. He has done well in that he's cut some taxes. I mean, the e-levy is gone. Betting tax is gone. You know, he's doing well. He's doing well. Again, the Mahama case, he has launched it, which largely will benefit a lot of people. You understand me? Mahama case will benefit a lot of people. So I am more of a socialist. Anything that goes for the masses, I'm for it, and I think he's doing well. I mean, to cut taxes and all of that, he has done well. I'll give him 7 because, I mean, even though he's doing well on the economy, there's also a few things that I think that if he can check, it will be really helpful. A few things like security. Aside that, economy, top notch. I wish he continues like this. If Mahama succeeds, Ghana succeeds, right? Fighting corruption also comes with a lot of backlash in our part of the world. I think that we should just allow our state institutions to work. When they are working, let us not try to smear them with political affiliations and all of this.
The depression that we were going through in terms of monetary affairs has been released a little. So partially we are all happy, and we pray for him that it should improve. So I'll give him 6 for now. Some things that he promised, he's fulfilling, like cutting down of ministers, he has fulfilled. And you can see that those monies that will be allocated for those ministers that have been cut off have been invested into other sectors. He has improved our Ghana CD. So many things. We've not seen much in our buying of things as at now. We've not seen much improvement yet. But we hope days and months to come, years go by, and we will see much improvement in our pockets.
Well, sounds like the verdict from that Vox Pop is a 7. Moina, what are the numbers telling you?
Well, we're going to try and do 6 months after the swearing in, looking at a number of sectors: the economy, education, agriculture, infrastructure, and then the last one will be the approval rate, in which we'll seek to try and gauge the sentiment of Ghanaians, some of which we've been hearing from. But if we start from the city, which was one of the most topical things which have been mentioned by a number of the people who've been speaking to us, they point clearly that the city is doing well. It's one thing which has impacted largely a number of things. We've seen inflation slow significantly over the last few months, and that's one of the things we're going to be pointing at, 13.7%. That largely, many will say, is attributable to the fact that the cedi has performed creditably against the US dollar. So we've moved from 15.46 as at April to 10.35. Based off on that alone, we've seen our public debt reduced by 150 billion cedis. That's brought as well debt to GDP ratio to 55%. We've seen a continuation of a build-up of our gold reserve, which is strongly backing our currency as well, started by the previous administration, continued by this administration, leaving our gold revenue and reserve ratio around some 2.7 billion US dollars. And so the key achievements when we talk about the matters of the economy, currency stability, debt reduction, and then inflation control as well, which for many people has contributed largely to a reduction in fuel prices and what have you. Let's look at education as well. We know last week there was the launch of the no fees stressed by the government, where students were already receiving a refund of the fees paid by their parents, some of which were saying they were going to inform their parents about it. But on a number of fronts, in terms of what the government promised in its budget, in its manifesto rather, and as well captured in the budget, we've seen the National Apprenticeship Program launched. It was launched in the northern part of the country. We've seen the Jumera program as well come into fruition. We're yet to assess fully the rollout of these programs, but on the face value, they've been launched. I mentioned the no fees stress policy, then free tertiary for persons with disability as well, and then that new medical school at the UENR. Then on matters of digital transformation, that 1 million coders program has been launched. We saw the Minister, Sam George, as well speak largely to it. 250,000 plus youth already enrolled. There's been digital literacy currently being enrolled nationwide. On internet, 5G expansion, new tech and research and development hub to be established. Cybersecurity reforms are expected. Let's go to agriculture just briefly, because we should be getting a bit more from there as well. And so on agriculture, the government is proposing 200,000 hectares to boost the country's yields when it comes to cocoa production and the likes. That is in the offing, it's in the works. The AgriNext Youth Program as well, that we understand has been launched. Farmer centers, all districts, that as well, we get the indication, is currently being rolled out. The Feed Ghana program, we've seen that being launched as well. The Nkukon Kitinkiti program as well has been launched. The fisheries sector is receiving some creditable support. Now let's come to infrastructure, and where a lot of you will be seeking to see your roads and the likes being greatly improved. The big push is what the NDC government has promised. It's been captured in the budget, but we're yet to see its official launch and the rollouts subsequent. Even though we've seen a number of road projects being instituted, I think last week thereabout we were in part of the Ashanti region where a bridge had been reconstructed, awaiting its official opening. Road tolls have been reintroduced, and then there's a promise of modern market. We know that Okada has been legalized, but there are formal works in place being led by the DVLA and then the National Road Safety Authority to ensure that its implementation is seamless. Then we're expecting as well the e-tolling to take place. Let's go lastly to the approval ratings of the government. This was captured in the recent survey by Global Info Analytics. We're seeing a 73% approval rating for the current administration and the president. 70% of respondents in the last survey by Global Info Analytics say that the country is headed in the right direction. On the handling of the economy, 74% say yes, good enough job done. They want 67% focused on jobs. 59% say living standards have improved. There's a positive outlook as well for the country, with 72% of respondents saying so. When we look at the approval rating by regions, Greater Accra region, which many believe more often than not, represents the entirety of the nation in terms of our opinions and how we see things because of its cosmopolitan nature. 78% believe we're headed in the right direction and approve of the handling of the country by the president. The northern region, 82%, the Volta region, 85%, and the Ashanti region as well, 46%. And so 6 months on in the second term of the John Mahama administration, this is what has been done. This is what Ghanaians say they make of it. And we leave the verdict to you as you continue to interact with us on our social media handles. That's it for you by the way of By the Numbers.